What is going on, everyone? Tinman here, and welcome to an ESO edition where I show you one of my favorite dungeons here in the Riven Spire. It is the Crypt of Hearts. Phenomenal, good starter. I used it in trials back in the day, and it's called the Ebon Armory. So I want you to be able to walk you through this, and show you. It's an easy dungeon to farm. And hope you enjoy this. This is the Crypt of Hearts. Hope you enjoy. Here we go. As I said, it starts in Riven Spire. I'm here with my very good friend, Misfire. And we dungeon a lot together. And so she's helping me farm some more Ebon. You can see that the red orbs around me, that's actually the Ebon. So we farmed this. I didn't get the complete set. They don't all have all the perfect traits though, but this is a great gear. This gives 1,000 extra health to your group. Trial members love this. It's so amazing. So the first starts out just a basic trash pull. You'll see I'll miss some things, but you'll see that I like to chain them in. Again, do you want to make it easier on your group because they drop AoEs, so the more you can group up, the quicker they melt. I missed one here. Yeah, you'll see me making several mistakes here in this dungeon, but you know what? I'm human, and you can learn from it. So I clear out here. Like to use talons here, locks these guys down. The talons work pretty good in the dungeons for the most part, but when you get into trials, elite bosses, they don't play nice with that, and they don't play nice with being pulled either, so this is great for dungeons. So you'll see my setups set up for dungeon right now. I haven't been doing trials. I've been gone for a couple years, so I'm just getting started. So she's been very grateful to help me. We've been duoing this dungeon several times. Again, more trash pulls. You can see I try to pull them in. It does use a lot of magicka, so use this at your discretion, but it's very powerful. And again, your job as a tank, number one job is to get the heavy hitters, two-handers, anything that does big damage, and keep them locked in and on taunt. The smaller ones, your team for the most part can burn them down, but it does help if you can get them kind of. See, I try to pull them in. Sometimes they come in, sometimes they don't, but I do the best I can to pull them in. Once something touches them, like a pet, you lose that ability to pull. You'll see that a couple times in this scenario here, but this is the continue the trash mob before our very, very first boss. And really, none of these bosses are kind of just look around. We're always looking for chests because we get a good advanced chest for our master chest. So here we go. We got a chest here. This is simple. Typically in the dungeons, I'm finding out, and correct me in the comments, I'm seeing a random around about 2 chests. They can be simple, advanced, master, intermediate, and 2 heavy sacks, which we don't always get. We usually find the chest, but not always the heavy sacks. Heavy sacks give you materials. All right, I'm going in on the boss here. He's not too tough. He's a two-hander. He'll whop you 1, 2. I think I get knocked over because I dropped my, like there, I dropped my block, and that's a lesson for you. Now, if this was vet, that would do a lot more damage. So this is a little more forgiving, but you can see the mechanics here. There's nothing major. I kind of keep him still. I try not to stand in stupid too much. We got decent DPS. Well, we got really good DPS. So we're able to just whop him down pretty quick. That's the mage. And he goes down pretty quick. And then we're off. And you'll have off to some more trash pulls here. Definitely check the books. If you haven't done it, it's always a good time. It's tough when you're doing like pickup groups. They call them pugs. They don't have a lot of patience. They usually have some kind of a reason to race through it. They want to get it done. They don't want to bother. So when you're with friends, you communicate it. Say, hey, we're going to be searching for, chests, and we're going to be searching through the bookshelves, and see, I'll try to change these random ones out of range. Try to get them best I can. Make it easier for her to burn them down, her AoE and her pet. So yeah, just communicate. It's fun with friends because you can totally take your time. More enjoyable this. It's not a race, and I like to enjoy learning the mechanics and just ESO. They've done a phenomenal job at creating these scenarios and these dungeons. I mean, look how elaborate this is. It's just beautiful. All right, we're going to the second boss here. I got through the initial trash. This guy's not tough. He's a caster. He does some cast. He does draw, pull in or summon, spawn some mobs, but he doesn't last a long time for us to really do that. I just keep taunt on him. You can see on the right hand side, I use an ESO add-on called Untaunted, so I can see. And sometimes I over taunt. You know, you kind of get goofy with the fingers on the buttons, and I may taunt again and choose some resources, and so you can see that going on. But again, I'm a learning tank and happy to share all my trials and tribulations with everybody, you know. Tanking's a fun role for me. It's what I really enjoy. It's a challenge because you're expected to kind of learn the dungeons. So I need to watch videos and learn mechanics. And there's your tanks need so many different types of gear for different situations, you know, depending if you're a DPS group or if you have a group that's full stamina, they melee, so they're stabby, so different gear for that. You get Magicka, caster kind of stand back, and you got your job as a tank is to buff and debuff. So many things. There are things called selfish gear where you can just get tanking gear where you get yourself like a mega hit points and get up to like 50, 60 plus K hit points. And, you know, it's basically survival. And that's good if you're like a pickup, you know, tank. You know, I like to play with friends and support them. So I'm looking to farm gear. And here's some more trash mobs here. I'll use talons and I'll try to chain in what I can reach. Sometimes you miss them. So it just takes practice, makes better. Never perfect, but I'll focus on more of support gear. I want like the Ebon here. This will give your team a 1K hit health buff, and the other one I'm farming is the leeching armor out of Cyrodiil, and that one takes a little long. The dungeon's not as easy as this one, so I'm farming leeching. I'm pretty much done. So I want to use those two together. Leeching's kind of selfish, you know. You're doing damage and it heals you, so until I get better gear to do trials like Sunspire and V-Maul and stuff like that, then I gotta get with what I can get. But there's some other good ones in there. There's Plague Doctor for hit points, you know, those are kind of selfish, but there's a lot of overland, what they call it. You can get in different zones to get you going, but it's not uncommon to have tanking gear for like 5, 6, 7 different sets. It all depends on your group makeup. But for me, I'm just getting started, and so just have the two right now. Right now I'm working with my sword and board, and my back bar is an ice staff. My rings, those are Torgs right there. That's just kind of they like enchant cooldowns. And then on my body right now, I'm wearing a 5-piece Ebon armory, which gives the hit points, but I'm farming for better traits because the better traits saves you time and expense for transmuting and looking for the traits. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just constant farming. Got a good patient friend. This is probably our 15th, 16th, maybe 17th time in here. So here comes a boss. This one's hard for the groups to land AoEs because this guy's active. He runs. You'll see his mechanics. He'll shoot a long red, basically a path in front of him. He'll run it, and then he's got an AoE that he just bursts out. So you'll see it. See, that one's not too bad. That's a fist slam. He does that twice. Now you'll see the line here, and he just makes a mad dash to the run. I try to roll out of the way because he'll plow you, and then he'll do the same thing. The room will light up. That's his AoE. And that'll do another run, and then he'll do another AoE. Then the next AoE, that's your marker right there. He's going to do an AoE with fire, and that just knocks you back. You just can't. It's nothing you can block, and you can't get away fast enough. So it's just one of those things on your butt. You just get back up and do it again. Your job is to keep taunt on him, and it works if you keep him over here by the doorway so he doesn't run all over crazy. And we just explore and run through the rooms. Sometimes you find a chest in here. Sometimes you find a heavy sack. Sometimes, like this case, nothing. But it's all about the experience, folks. You're here to have a good time. This is a very fun game. It's very enjoyable. This is one of the few multiplayer games that I thoroughly enjoy. It's well thought out. Even if you were solo, the storyline is amazing. The graphics are amazing. They put a lot of work into this. The voice actors, there's some big players in here, voice actors. You have to look those up. Too many to name. So this is, it's like a mini boss. He goes down quickly. He's just more of a nuisance. Just turn him away and let him burn it down. Bob's your uncle. We're entering the area here where this is the boss. He's a caster, he's like a necro, and he again stays still for a moment, but after about mid-range on his mid-health, he'll back up. You'll see this here. And I'm not sure if yeah, I got the taunt there. See, taunt's getting low. I try to. There he goes. There's the backup. So it's annoying for the casters, but it is what it is. He goes down pretty quickly too. Again, we're playing normal. This is so you can see the fights, see the dungeon itself. But if you're planning on tanking, this is one of the places you really want to visit and just do it over and over again. Bring your friends. It looks like we just walked right past the heavy sack. I just saw that. Ha! It's hilarious. And I think I got called back. Misfire says, hey, and I do that all the time. I miss the heavy sacks. So there's a skill line called Sigic Portal. You can open up, and I'm just starting that, so the chest will glow, kind of like a nice, this cool color, and you see in the background here, the chest will glow like that, and they stick out. This is the trash bull. That golem will come after us. You just got to kind of keep taunt on him. I try to bring those in. The casters are a pain. They do damage with their light attacks, and they're in range, so they don't get burned. And they can do some heavy damage on you with your back to them. So just be mindful. Keep your taunt. Watch your hit points. And everything will go smooth. Communicate with your group. That's the biggest thing. You know, you're here to have a good time. This shouldn't be a job, right? We all have our own jobs when we work. So, we here found some gear. We're trading some gear. Got some more Ebon. So I'm trying to focus on like the sturdy, the infused, and the reinforced stuff. So I'm just about done. There's a couple more runs. What I'm really trying to get is the ice staff for the back bar. So I want to run leeching on the front. So the gear, like 5 pieces of leeching, and the rest on the jewelry and the sword and board and the back board, which would be ice staff, will be the Ebon armory. So that for me is going to be good enough for the dungeons until I start farming and get a little more CP. You can see my CP is about 280. Got a long ways to go. And the champion points really help you when you start putting points into that in certain areas. So there's builds out there. I kind of do my own thing. Initial cookie cutter, yes, kind of get me, because I've been away for 2 years. But I like to experiment and say, okay, what does this gear do with this? How does this benefit the group? If I move the CP around my champion points around, how does that benefit me and the group? I'm always looking out to make my group, because you got a strong group, makes your job as a tank a whole heck of a lot easier. That's for sure. So if you're going to be a tank, don't be selfish out there. You don't be greedy. Work as a team. Things will go smooth. You'll get your gear farmed a lot quicker. And what I did with Misfire here, we focused on her. We went out there and farmed the blood drinkers and the Neuron. And so we lived in Falkreath for so long. Oh my gosh, so many times I've died. But what a good experience we both had. And she's got hers. There's a chest there, advanced. And so we focus on getting the DPS, getting her gear, so it makes my job easier. She can burn them down faster. That makes my job so much easier, because I don't do much DPS. I'm a tank. Now, there are tank builds out there that do DPS. That's not me. My job that I enjoy is basically standing toe-to-toe, keeping the aggro, taunting the mobs, taking the beating, and sticking up and protecting my team, my group, and let them do the work, because that's what they're built for. So they're not built to take heavy attacks. So you always focus on the big heavy hitters, keep those in your face and turned away the best you can. These are the twins here, and so they're bothersome. I gotta keep taunt on them. One's caster, one's a big heavy hitter, so you gotta watch. There's a roll dodge, so the caster will do an AoE that fills that whole platform. It'll knock you on your butt. So I try to warn the group a couple times. Sometimes I miss it with everything going on because I'm focused. But you'll see those are just small AoEs. You'll see the whole floor here fill up, and you'll see that, well, I'll say like, hey, roll out now. Sometimes I forget, but that'll help you, because see that? Boom. Because if not, it'll knock you on your butt, and you can get hit while you're trying to get up. So one's a caster, and you kind of want to focus, balance them if the best you can, but it doesn't always work that way. When you get into vet, I believe you definitely have to balance them. If you kill one too soon, I don't know if it locks or something, but so I do my best to just keep aggro on them. I'll interrupt the best I can. I start throwing down damage shields. I got knocked on my butt there, which is okay, because I'm still learning, but for the most part, that's your job as a tank. Keep aggro, take a beating, let them burn it down, but try your best to keep them semi-stationary if you can, but not always easy. These guys bounce around. You see, I missed it right on the edge. I called it a little too late, and that was my bad. And there you go. That would complete your run with Crypt of Hearts. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you are new and you want to see more of this. Love to have you on the channel. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. Peace.